व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुवन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। A few more things to look at from the morning discussion. And we saw, what did we see? We saw how this desire is part of what is called Prakriti, the setup, how things are. That is how it is. And so this, not just desire, but just whatever constitutes one's personality in Ajnani does not overpower the person, Purusha, Sarvan Purayati iti. But in an Ajnani, the Purusha is overpowered by Prakriti. And the Ragadveshas remain. The Ragadveshas are all over the place. And so that is what is described here in great detail. And so what is the formula? Is there a formula for not coming under the spell of Ragadveshas? How to make sure that I don't stray from the path of Karma Yoga? This is what is to be discussed now. And so, in the next verse, again a very famous verse. This you will find people quoting in all kinds of situations, in the context and also out of context, because they take many meanings from this. And verse number 35, the Lord says, Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharmat Swanushthitat Paradharmat Swanushthitat Swadharme Nidhanam Shreyaha Swadharme Nidhanam Shreyaha Paradharmo Bhayavaha Paradharmo Bhayavaha. Swadharma. Here the concept of Swadharma is introduced. And why is that introduced? Because this is the ticket to remaining on the path of Karma Yoga and not getting derailed, destabilized. This is the ticket. And Swadharma we had visited a long time ago in our last Janma. And Swadharma is what? Whatever one has to do, one does. That is Swadharma. Swadharma is doing what one has to do, and then what? Not doing what one does not have to do. Following dharma in one's life is Swadharma, simple definition. This is general for everybody. Everybody's Swadharma cannot be outside of Samanya Dharma. Samanya Dharma, what I am supposed to do, I do. This is when looked from the standpoint of an individual, that is what the life is. This is Swadharma. And then, what is I have always told you, Swadharma has two components. One is Samanya Dharma as it obtains in one's own life. And then what is the other component? But that is three. That is different. Threefold. Samanya Dharma, Vishesha Dharma, Swadharma. That's different. In Swadharma, we had divided that into two. One was just following Dharma in one's own life as it obtains in one's own life, following Samanya Dharma and Vishesha Dharma included, is Swadharma. That is the general definition of Swadharma. What is the specific definition of Swadharma? Going somewhere? No. Everybody is getting all Vedantin on me.
It's not talents.
We have long time. I will wait.
I'm sure we'll family.
Huh?
Based on our talents and skills.
Finally. Okay. So based on one's own talents, whatever they are there, they are God given. Allowing that to express itself is the second aspect or component of Swadharma. Finding a place to express itself, allowing that expression to overcome all the raga dveshas that one may have. I'm not good enough. That's a raga, that's a dvesha. Why am I doing this? I should be doing something else. That's another dvesha. I have raga for somebody else's job. That's a raga. That's coming in the way of self-discovery, at least on the level of the everyday. On the level of the empirical reality, on the everyday level, this is what it is. This is Swadharma. And Swadharma also expresses in the form of roles. Son, daughter, spouse, mother, father. These are all roles. These are all called the various expressions of Swadharma. Particular expressions. And the general expression is following Dharma. That is Swadharma. And so here, Lord Krishna brings in the concept of Swadharma very, very intimately here to show something very important. And what does the Lord show? The Lord says that when you are in the process of getting derailed, and when you cannot distinguish between, is this due to my desire, or is this due to my prakriti, or is this, what is this? Why am I having these desires? What is the filter I have to use so that I don't get completely destabilized by this? For that, what does one do? One takes recourse to Swadharma. That which one has forgotten, because we are doing it every day. So, hopefully. And so, since Swadharma is being expressed every day, it's taken for granted. It's not understood properly. It's all but forgotten. And because it is kind of forgotten, the Lord brings it up. And it has a particular reference to Arjuna also, who is getting ready to fight the war that can end in death. And so he says, Swadharme, in one's own dharma, nidhanam shreyaha. Shreyaha, better. Exalted it is to die while performing one's dharma. This is specifically to Arjuna, who is getting ready to fight a battle. It's better to die following one's dharma rather than to be alive trying out somebody else's dharma. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha. Shreyan means it is better. Swadharma is better. Vigunaha means badly performed Swadharma is better. If you say, I'm still discovering, I don't know what my talents are, and my age is 92 and a half, and I've still not discovered how I fit in the society. I don't know who I am, but I keep trying this, that, and the other. That you are still okay doing that. Rather than saying, I'm going to jump ship. Why? That other ship is a luxury cruise, and it has many rooms, and it has many attractions. It has a movie theater inside the ship, and it has many wonderful cuisines of the world. This is just a little boat. I'm going to jump ship. I'm going to be a stowaway. I'm just going to go there and pretend to be a customer. What kind of customer? Non-paying customer. Or you can, somebody can say, I'm just tired of doing this. This is drudgery. Drudgery means doing the same old, again and again. It's boring. People find whatever they are supposed to do very boring. The one who is a homemaker says, I'm tired of cooking. I'm tired of taking care of the house. How come everybody else gets to go out and I have to stay at home? Pujya Swamiji was addressing one conference. He had been asked to inaugurate the Global Peace Initiative of Women. This was being held in Switzerland, and I was with him. And so he began his address by saying, these days everything is equal between the partners. 1 week I do the cooking, one person in the partnership says, you do the dishes. Dishes means all washing everything. Next week, you do the cooking, and what? I do the dishes. First child, I'll have. Second child, you have. Is that possible? No. Maybe with science, anything is possible these days. In the Time magazine a few years ago, there was an article, the pregnant man. Somehow they managed, I don't know how. I did not read the article. I said certain things better not to know, and just left it like that. But these days with science, everything is possible, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of treatments and work and all these things. Even if that's possible, it's not. That is not how Prakriti has set up the situation. And so Swadharma means there are certain ways in which I come to terms with what I have to do because I can't always do as I like. I learn to love what I have to do. Swadharma is what, the adherence to Swadharma is what puts you in the right place in the larger scheme of things, which is how this chapter opened. So no wonder Bhagavan is going back to these kinds of themes. When the chapter opened, what were we talking about? A big yajna is going on. A huge yajna is going on. What kind of a yajna? Bhagavan's yajna is going on, and everything is participating except the human being. Everybody is participating except the human being who has free will. And it was told, pointed out to us how important it is to follow this yajna, how important it is to express ourselves in the yajna, and to give, to join the yajna by giving. You keep giving and joining the yajna, you give of whatever you need to do. And now we are circling back, and Bhagavan is pointing out the best way to plug into this big yajna of Ishvara, Bhagavan, that is going on, is to really do your swadharma. Whatever you are meant to do, you do. You do with a lot of grace, you do with a lot of integrity. And again, this is not a fatalistic verse. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha. An improperly performed Swadharma is better. And rather than Paradharma, somebody else's job. Somebody else's job always looks better. That's why we keep rotating the seva every 15 days. So that you get to, now the shoe is on the other foot, so you get to know all the glamour. Maybe there is a glamour, in certain jobs are more glamorous. Serving meals to the Swamis must definitely be more glamorous than serving meals to just ordinary mortals. Maybe somebody thinks like that. But then when one is put in that, then you say, OMG, that was much better. You just stand and just dole out things. Here serving Swamis means you have to carry buckets up and down the line. And you never know how many Swamis decide to visit at any given time. Suddenly there is a Swami fest and there are many of them and the whole line is full. And one of them is saying roti, another one is saying sabji. You have recently learned the meaning of sabji, you didn't even know what it meant till now. And then now you have to deal with carrying the bucket. No. I'm better off just standing there, thinking my own thoughts and just smiling and doling it out. So this is how it is. There is certain glamour attached to the jobs, especially from far away when you see. When you see things from far away, the pasture always looks greener on the other side. Oh, that person's job is so easy. Somebody is thinking about the CEO of the company. He's always going on vacation with his family. He's hardly in the cabin. And when he travels, okay, he travels fine. But when he travels, it's always by, first class. In the front of the plane where the lesser mortals are not even allowed to take a peek. You have to go straight to economy class. Like cattle, you have to go there and sit down, shoo. All the flight attendants just herd you down there. Nobody is even allowed to take a peek. Okay, how do these people live? What do they eat? Everything. But there is such a thing called first class, especially on these long haul flights. 8 hours, 9 hours, 6 hours, these long flights. So they travel by executive class. And they go here and they stay in again 5-star hotels. And they have a very cushy life. Who is thinking? The person who has to do jhadu. The person who is the janitor of the company, who has to sweep, clean, mop, looks. He has to salute each time the person comes in and out. He has to do namaste, he has to salute, he has to say, yes sir, good morning sir. And says, oh, his job is wonderful. Meanwhile, what is the CEO thinking? CEO is saying, I am just sick of this job. I am tired of this job. I come home and the job comes home with me. I have so much responsibility. Look at that janitor. Nicely he goes home and he can forget. He need not think broom and cleaning supplies. Everything is there when he comes the next day. It's all ordered and kept. He is not responsible for anything. I have to do everything. So this is human nature. This is Prakriti taking over, and this is where we can put a stop and learn to love whatever it is that we have got to do in this life. We have to learn to love it, and that is what is the Mahatta, the greatness of this verse, is that think of it as Swadharma, duty. India is a duty-based society. I will tell somebody, come to the ashram, and they will say, yes, I can't come this week, I'll come next week. Why? Because I have certain duties to fulfill. And Pujya Swamiji used to receive lot of letters which ran like this. Swamiji, I have finished all my duties. I wish to join the ashram now. This concept of duty is not there anywhere except in the Hindu Dharma. Nowhere else you will find it. In the West, they will say, I am going to work, I am coming back from work. They will only talk of work. This duty is a very beautiful concept. The concept of duty is just wonderful because duty means, it's a duty-based society, means nobody has to fight for their rights. My duty towards you, happily done, becomes your right. Your duty towards me, happily done, becomes my right. Same thing in every relationship. The duty of the parents towards the children automatically fulfills the rights of the children, and the duties of the children towards the parents automatically fulfills the parental rights. Same thing, that's why we don't have many litigations in India. We don't have a lot of litigations. Plus, even if you sue somebody, your great-grandchild will see the results of that court case. That's another reason why you don't sue anybody. 3 generations sometimes it takes because there's just a lot of people. Everything is just clogged up. That's another reason. But the real reason is this, because it is duty-based. This is a country because of this dharma, which has very little sense of entitlement. I have a right to this, nobody will be saying. They will all say, I have a duty towards this. I have some obligations, I have some duties. That society, which is a duty-based society, is a psychologically healthy society. It teaches individual and social responsibility. It teaches one to be Atmanirbhara, meaning it teaches one to be self-sufficient, not always be a victim. How is the duty-based society not making one into a victim? Because I don't have to go to somebody and say, my rights have been violated. I'm only focusing on duty. Everybody ideally is focusing on duty. That means the rights are already there. Duties are in our hands to correct, to perform, not in somebody else's hands. And so therefore, this is something of great importance. And remaining in Swadharma, one gets Shreyas. Shreyas means all good things come to the one in Swadharma, regular meaning. Shreyas is also moksha, and Swadharma prepares you for moksha. Prepares you for moksha. How does it prepare you for moksha? It prepares you to gain this knowledge because the duty-based life frees you from raga and dvesha. Frees you of raga dvesha. And so therefore, this is why it is said here, Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharmat Suanushthitat. So Suanushthitat means even another person's karma nicely done. Swadharma here is Swakarma. So even another person's job nicely done is not as good as your job, whatever was meant for you to do. This is not a fatalistic interpretation. Okay, you have this job and this is the only job you have to do till the day one dies. No, that's not the idea. You can change. You can do whatever you want. But this is in the event that you cannot change, or in the event that each time you change the job, you are getting the same kind of boss. Someone who is critical, someone who is a drama king or a drama queen, someone who is always asking you to do this, do that, and picking faults all the time, judgmental. Job number one, same kind of boss. Job number two, different person but same kind of boss. Job number three, exactly same kind of boss. That is when you say, okay, there is something here for me to learn. Marriage number one, same kind of spouse. You are no good, off with you. Marriage number two, different person, same kind of spouse. Marriage number three, then same kind of spouse. After that, you get married to Vedanta, to Ishvara. That's all is left. Because the same thing, there is a pattern which is repeating itself. And in that situation, it is better to be with who we are. We are given certain jobs in this life. And I told you the story of a very complex piece of machinery which had a piston. And what did the piston do? Went like this, up and down, back and forth, round and round. And then there was a screw. And the screw said, look at this one, how much fun it is having. And everybody sees this. It's going up and down, it's going round and round, it's going bar, lagatar, all the time, continuously. And I am supposed to just sit like this. I can't even move if I wanted to, so tight it is. I also want to contribute. I also want to move. Because the screw thought, if it moves, then it will contribute. It tried to move this way, nothing happened. Then it tried this way. Freedom at last. Anti-clockwise, I am unraveling. Wonderful. Free. See, I am also contributing. I am also moving. Look. And then the piston falls over and the whole machinery comes to a grinding halt. Definitely the screw is loose. Pun intended. This is the situation. Sometimes you have to just sit. You have to just stand. That's the job. Like the person who guards the gates. They're supposed to just stand there or sit there. If they say, I'm getting bored and I'll start delivering lectures on Vedanta right at the gate to whoever comes, then they will be putting off people from coming here. They are supposed to just stand there. If they say, oh, I'm going to cook, then some robbers will come inside. Some unsavory characters who are supposed to not come inside will come inside. Security guard means they should just stand. They should not do anything else. They should just stand. That is their job. Stand or sit. They have been given a chair. They can sit if they are tired of standing. And then some other person has to run around. The person who is doing marketing for the ashram and delivering things from here to there, they have to run around. He may be thinking, oh, the security guard has it so good, wonderful. And I want to be the security guard. But this fellow is very puny. Who you say he falls over? Security guard means little bit. People should be scared. They should have some presence. And if the security guard goes and tries to bring things and all this, that also may not work. So Shreyam Swadharmo Viguna. Even if you think I'm doing this job imperfectly, doesn't matter. There is room to grow. There is room to get better at it. We have the whole life. Paradharmat swanushthitat. Even if you think I'm doing other person's job, I can do better. Remain in where Bhagavan has placed you. There is a lot of beauty in this, because this way you get plugged into Swadharma, Vishesha Dharma, Samanya Dharma, and then you participate in the yajna that we talked about. This whole thing of giving, giving, giving. You participate in the whole world yajna, and then you also overcome raga dvesha. This is the beauty of it. So, swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. The dharma of another person is actually quite fearful. Now Arjuna has this thing in mind. Arjuna is still digesting verse number is 31 and 32. Vidhi nashtan achetasaha, the avivekis who do not follow the vision and the teachings of Bhagavan, who have no shraddha and who are already critical, and then who are as good as lost because their buddhi is lost. And Arjuna has a question, which of course is the reason why chapter 4 exists, because towards the end he has a question, and that takes the whole of chapter 4 to answer this question. And Lord Krishna thinks the dinner bell has rung, but then he has another question at the beginning of chapter 5. This is how the Bhagavad Gita keeps going and going and going. So, and as we will see, this not this question, but the one that comes at the beginning of chapter 5 is the same question that he had asked earlier in chapter 2. Arjuna uvacha atha kena prayuktoyam papancarati purushaha anichannapi varshneya baladiva niyojitaha Shri Bhagavan uvacha Kama esha krodha esha Rajo guna samudbhavaha Mahashano mahapapma Vidhyena miha vairinam. Arjuna uvacha means Arjuna had his lunch, correct?
No.
Wake up. No. Arjuna said, rather, Papracha asked. What did Arjuna ask? Uvacha here means Papracha asked. What did he ask? Adhar. Now, Kena prayuktaha, impelled by what? I am Purushaha, I am this person, any person. Papam charati, does papa karma, does actions which are papa. Anichannapi, not that they want to do papa, they don't want to do papa, but as though someone is pushing them. Do papa, take this, but it doesn't belong to me, doesn't matter, take it. No, but I'll regret it, doesn't matter, take it now. Get going, take it. So, impelled by what? Impelled by what does a person engage in actions that have difficult consequences for whom? For them alone. That have uncomfortable consequences, terrible consequences. in the here and in the hereafter. In the hereafter also they are accountable, and in the here also the Drishtaphalam is also not good. They have guilt, they have hurt, they have pain, they have sorrow, they have uncomfortable situations in life. This is all the results of Papa. Knowing this full well and wanting to be a regular dharmic person, it's not that they don't want to follow Dharma. They are happily following Dharma, and suddenly they are hijacked, distracted, and they find themselves going away. What is this force? O Lord, O Krishna, what is this force? Who is this force? Sounds like Duryodhana's statement. Janami dharmam. I know what the right thing to do is. Nachame pravrittihi. I don't feel like it. Or maybe you don't know the consequences of adharma. Janami adharmam cha. I know adharma very well and its results. Nachame nivrittihi. I am not free of it. Kenapi devena hridisthitena. Yadha prayuktosmi tadha karomi. By some devilish being sitting in my heart. However it goads me to do, I will do exactly as it tells me to do. This is a very terrible proposition. That means how to lead the life. You're not even in touch with what is driving, what are the urges that are driving you. And you think somebody else is there coming in your heart and asking you to do things. That means one is a special person. Pujya Swamiji had a definition of a special person. Who is a special person? The one who needs a specialist. So, like Duryodhana was probably hearing voices in his head, do this, do that, all these things, who knows? Psychotic. So here the person is not hearing, voices in the head, but still there is an urge to do what is not supposed to be done. Even though the person wants to follow Dharma, he is too weak. Why does this happen? Oh Krishna, please tell me. And Bhagavan, in all his compassion, gives the answer. He says, there are two reasons. What are they? Kama eshaha, krodha eshaha. Eshaha, this kama, this krodha. Krodha means?
Anger.
Yeah. And kama is binding desires. Difficult, intractable desires. Core desires that have just caught the person. One is not able to dismiss them easily. So, kama eshaha, and we saw the origin of anger. Why does our anger come? When kama, you put a dam on kama. And kama gets very angry and turns into krodha. When you suppress kama, it turns into krodha. So that kama has to be processed. First you don't act. You don't follow that because it is bad for you. But then you have to process the pain of not having that desire fulfilled. Then only it will not turn into anger. Otherwise it will turn into anger. So this kama and its spawn called krodha. Where have they come from? Read, tell me.
Rajo guna
Samudbhavaha, samyak udbhavaha. So they are samyak udbhavaha, and it means they are born. They are born nicely. From what? Rajo guna. From rajas. Rajas is the origin of both kama and its baby krodha. Second generation. Rajas is the origin of kama and krodha. And then the Lord says, don't take these lightly. Mahashanaha means the person is, the kama is like a pig. It will keep on eating, eat everything. It's not even a pig. What is that you see in the sanctuary? Hippo. Hippopotamus. You throw the hippo one slice of bread from this side very safely, from this side of the sanctuary. There are some trees and wire and everything, and there it is playing in the mud and all that, and you throw the bread. It's very good at catching. And when it goes in the mouth, it is as big as its tooth. That's how you can see. The whole slice of bread is as big as one of its incisors. And so, what is that? A whole loaf of bread somebody threw. It was just like a bite-sized something. So this is how karma is. Insatiable. Its gluttony knows no bounds. You keep feeding a desire, what will happen? It will grow, it will grow, it will grow, it will grow. It will never say enough. Later on, in a couple of verses, the Lord is going to equate desire with fire. Why? Both of them end in I-R-E. Desire, fire. That is one reason. But since it is in Sanskritam, we can't give that reason. There is because of this insatiability, this is why the desire is equated with fire. And that is, everybody is going to sleep. Isn't there AC or something? Turn it on.
Power's off.
Power's gone. Okay. Yeah. Open the door or something. Everybody is falling asleep. Yeah. Power is still gone? Try?
Yeah.
Because that watch also goes when the power goes sometimes.
It was AC. It was on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why I'm saying some jokes and all to make people wake up. Nobody is even smiling, let alone laughing. With glutton, this kama and krodha have insatiable appetites. They keep eating. That's why it's good to not feed them. Like sometimes, if there is some kind of a fibroid in the uterus or something like that, instead of operating, they just stop the blood supply to that tumor. And then what? Dies away. Here also you stop feeding it and then it dies away. And of course when it dies away it's very painful. Here too it's very painful when it dies away. But you cauterize that desire, you don't feed it, and then this too will die away. Mahashanaha, Mahapapma. It is a body of Papa. It is nothing but Papa. Bhagavan doesn't say it will cause Papa, it is itself Papa. So then the more we entertain all these desires, binding desires, turning into anger, the more we keep feeding them, then what happens to them? They take over the person and turn them into an embodiment of Papa. How? This is going to be told in the next verse. धूमेनाव्रियते वह्निः
धूमेनाव्रियते वह्निः
यथादर्शो मलेन च
यथादर्शो मलेन च
यथोल्बेनावृतो गर्भः
यथोल्बेनावृतो गर्भः
तथा तेनेदमावृतम् Dhumena, he gives 3 examples of why this is inimical and how the person of Viveka means discrimination, discernment. The discernment The ability to discern between what and what? Between Nitya, Anitya, Atma, Anatma, Dharma, Adharma. Nitya, Anitya Vastu is very difficult to discern. But at the very, very outset, Dharma and Adharma one can discern. One has discernment. Dharma and Adharma. This discernment should be there, and Dharma, Adharma discernment gives rise to Karya, Akarya, Viveka. So Karya, that which should be done in all situations. Akarya, that which should never be done in any situation. Why? Because it is against Dharma. So Karya, Karya, Viveka is, in other words, Dharma, Dharma, Viveka. And that leads to Nitya, Nitya, Vastu, Viveka. We have to begin somewhere. But here the Viveka is, it's not that the Viveka is not there. Viveka is there. But then what? It is as though covered. And 3 examples of covering are given. What are they? Dhumena avriyate yatha vannihi. Vannihi, fire. The fire is totally covered by smoke, so much so that you cannot even see the fire. You can only see black, black, dark, dark smoke, and it is hurting your eyes, and you cannot do anything about it. And this is what is the first one. Dhumena avriyate yatha vannihi. Then the next one, yatha adarshaha malena cha. You have a mirror. Adarsha means mirror. Mirror, you haven't dusted for a long time. Then you look at your face, fully coated with dust. Not the face, the mirror. So, like a mirror with the patina of dust. And then, yatha ulvena avritaha, what? Garbha. The baby in the womb is covered by placenta, the sac in which the baby is growing. You can't see the baby. This was before ultrasound, okay? Yeah. You can't see the baby. And so, tena idam here is jnanam. And what kind of jnanam? Dharma, dharma, viveka here is called jnanam. We are not talking of atma jnana. Dharma, dharma, viveka is the wisdom here. That wisdom is as though covered by what? Kama and krodha. Why 3 examples? Did Bhagavan Krishna know that it would be a hot day and we are all going to sleep, and so that's why I should say we, I should exclude myself. Is it because 3 examples so that if one is asleep for one, the other one will get? No. The 3 examples have a specific purpose, very beautiful. Dhumena avriyate vannihi yatha. So when the smoke covers the fire, here vannihi is not fire so much as embers. You know ember? The small live red coals that are covered by the smoke. What do you have to do to start the fire again? Or you fan. You fan or you blow. You have this particular thing to blow. You blow on that, and then the fire starts again, the smoke just dies down. Certain desires are like that. They are not sticking to you. You just go foo foo. You just go foo foo. They go away. You just distract yourself. You call a friend. You phone a friend and say something, you just distract yourself. You go somewhere. You have a little break. You take care of a few things. And then that desire is gone. So for such kinds of desires, the first example is given of going foo, blowing on the smoke, and then warding off the smoke. Here also the smoky desires, the smoke in the form of desires is not well entrenched in the psyche. The smoke is there, and then just as you blow off the smoke, you just blow off the desire. You give the person something else to do, you give yourself some kind of a break, a distraction, take a walk, do something else, and then it is forgotten because it is not well entrenched. The second one, example, is that of a mirror, which is quoted because it has not been dusted in. It was dusted in the last Janma, and so it has a lot of dust. You stand in front of the mirror and go foo, what will happen? Nothing. Little more effort is required. You wipe it off with a wet cloth. Then you wipe it with a dry cloth. And then you just take it again and polish it off with a soft cloth. Some desires are like that. You have to rub at them. You have to wipe them off. You have to put a little bit of effort. You have to have a little more presence of mind. If you take a walk, they are not going to go away. They are not going to go away at all. It's like that person who was given a mantra. One man went to the Guru and said, I want mantra so that everybody in the world will respect me. And the Guru was gullible, just gave him the mantra. And then somebody else came and said, what have you done? This person is very adharmic, he should be chanting the mantra. Guru said, no problem, bring him back. I will tell him, I have forgotten to tell him the whole mantra, bring him back. So the man came back. And so he said, I forgot to tell you something very, very important. What, Guruji? I forgot to tell you that before you chant the mantra, please do not think of a monkey. What happened afterwards? He could never chant the mantra. And the Guru also told him, if you think of the monkey comes in the mind and you chant the mantra, it is of no use. So next day the fellow bathed and put vibhuti here, everywhere, stripes like a zebra, and then went and sat down for meditation. Oh, what should I not think of? Monkey. And all kinds of monkeys came in the mind. Gorillas, chimpanzees, rhesus, langur, macaca, African monkey, this monkey, that monkey, King Kong from the movie. All the monkeys of various sizes and shapes. Ishta monkeys, like Ishta Devata. All the monkeys came to the mind. And this happened every time. So certain desires are like that. The more you try not to think about them, they will only come to the mind and hijack the mind. So for that, a little more work is needed. Inner housekeeping is needed. 6-month course is needed for such things. Because you have to take a break, go far away from anything like it. And never go near it again, because this is what is called a well-entrenched desire compared to the one that you can just go foo and blow it away. This will blow you away. It will not be blown away. Which one? The second one. What is the example for the second one? Mirror, exactly. Then the third one is the baby growing in the womb. Covered, unseen, protected. Just like that, we have certain desires that keep growing and growing and growing. And only in time you can get rid of them. Kalena, because they are so well entrenched that you need to treat them with gentleness and patience. With a lot of patience and gentleness you treat them, and you know that in time you will overpower them. But just like the baby takes 9 months to grow, similarly this desire will take some time for you to have a say over the desires. So therefore, 3 examples are given. What kind of desires we have? We have manda desires. Manda means dull desires, little bit of prick like a thorn, but after that you can just blow them away. Then we have madhyama kind of desires. Madhyama means middling, so they are well entrenched, but you can still have a say over them. You have to make effort. Then the third kind of desires are core desires. Why are they core desires? Because they keep saying, encore, again, give me one more. And so these desires, you have to keep working at them, but they will drop in time. You cannot tell them to drop just now, because they have been well entrenched for so many years, maybe even the previous lifetime. So you be patient with them, and you keep working at them, slowly chipping away at them. Then they become madhyama desires, then they become manda desires, and then they go away. So manda, madhyama, tivra, ichha. 3 kinds of binding desires are talked about in this verse, very beautiful verse. So kama eshaha, krodha eshaha, rajoguna samudbhava, and this kama turning into krodha are of 3 forms, and they are mild, middling, or intense, and you have to work with them. And then what should you know? So tatha tena idam avritam. What do these do? These mild, middling, and intense desires cover one's viveka, cover one's vairagya also, we have to say. Cover one's discrimination, cover one's dispassion, and therefore they have to be avoided, he is going to say in verse number 39. Let us chant. Avritam jnanametena,
Avritam jnanametena,
jnanino nityavairina,
jnanino nityavairina,
kamarupena kaunteya,
kamarupena kaunteya,
dushpurena nalena cha,
dushpurena nalena cha.
So, avritam. Earlier also we saw the word avritam. Yatha ulbena avritah. So here avritam jnanam. So one's wisdom, knowledge here is of what to do and what not to do. Viveka. It's not atma jnanam we are talking about. So jnanam here is viveka. Karya viveka. Dharma viveka. So avritam is covered. What? Jnanam, the viveka, etena. Etena means by this insatiable fire. Etena avritam. Etena kamena. Etena kamarupena. By this, which is in the form of kama, avritam. What is avritam? Vivekaha. Viveka is avritam, covered. So, and it is an enemy of the jnani. Jnaninaha nityavairi. What? Kama. So, nityavairina etena kamarupena jnanam avritam. So, Nityavairina means the constant enemy. Why the constant enemy of Viveka? This Kama covers the knowledge as it were. He Kaunteya, O Arjuna, and it is likened to Dushpurena Analena. Anala, fire. Dushpura, difficult or impossible to satiate. So it is like a fire that is impossible to satiate. What is Kama Krodha? Kama is a fire that is impossible to satiate. It is always apurna, dushpurna. And like a fire it is, because the fire never says alam, enough. Anala. Alam na vidyate yasya. Analaha. And so, this is how it is. So, alam na vidyate yasya is applicable to fire. It's applicable to what else? Kama. And it is a nitya vairi, even of the wise. Nitya vairi means constant enemy. It's the constant enemy. Constant enemy means I'll never get rid of karma. We'll find out next time. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.